Good evening, sisters and brothers. Wow, I just had this dream, and I believe that it is a warning from the Lord, but as with all of my dreams, please pray about it. Ask for confirmation. Take it to the Lord and ask Him yourself. In this dream, I was giving writing and on the fence and warnings, and I'm going to share that with you today. And I believe this is just an urgent warning from the Lord. So I'm going to tell this dream, and then I'm going to interpret it. So the dream starts out that I am with a woman named Robin. And we are in this meadow at this wedding. And the bride and groom are at the altar, and it's a really simple wedding. There's chairs laid out, and there's a little wedding arch, and the pastor's there, and priest, whatever, and this couple's about to get married, and this woman, Robin, that I'm with, she was kind of being embarrassing, loud, kind of mouthy. I think she was drunk. I'm not sure, but I got embarrassed and I walked over to her car. And I was standing at the window of her car. The window was rolled down, and I noticed that there was no seat in this car. And in the spot that the seat was supposed to be, the console was right there. And I was looking around and looked in the back seat and around the front seat, and I was looking for some food. But there was no food in this car. It was all garbage and empty wrappers. And I was thinking, well, when Robin gets in here to drive down the road, she's going to have to sit on this console. It's her only chair, because her seat's been gutted out, And so there was a cloth in the console kind of bunched up. So I took it and I kind of spread it out on top of the console, so when she's driving down the road, it wouldn't hurt her bottom so bad, because I kept thinking it's going to be a bumpy ride for her. It's not going to feel good. It's going to hurt. And then she seen me over there, and she came over and was being kind of loud, obnoxious, rude, and she wanted to get in. I said, hold on, let me fix your seat area here. Your bottom's going to hurt. And that was the end of that scene. So I'm going to interpret that. Robin means it's a North American red-breasted bird. It's in North America, and it also means, bright or fame. And so Robin represents America, you guys. Her car represents the thing she's riding in, where it's taken her. The wedding represents God's people getting married, and America is being loud and obnoxious and poking fun, mocking, scoffing, is drunk. Just as in the days of Noah, they're eating and drinking, being given in marriage. I don't know, but and the seat ripped out means that the car's gutted. You can't even drive it. America's, going to be sitting on a console, and I'm trying to fluff it up and put like a little padding right there, to help. And I think that represents my videos and, us telling people about God but I knew that when America got in this car, it was going to be a bumpy ride, you guys. And, it wasn't going to feel good. And I believe the whole scenario represents the tribulation period. Okay. The next part of the dream, I was in my old house on Church Street. And that house to me represents, that was the time in my life where me and my ex-husband were fighting about law. Everything, I was in law church there. I was a Pentecostal. And I believe you had to do works to get to heaven, and it was just, I was under law and not under grace. And There was constant fighting in that house. It was just a really miserable, miserable time in my life. But I lived on Church Street. And so my ex was there, and he was going to cook some food. And there were some people there too. It might have been Robin, I don't know, but with them, I don't know. But I said, well, I'm not going to eat that food because it represents law. I am going to go and cook my own food. And for these people, I'm going to cook the food for these people, and I know that represents grace. And so all of a sudden I had these pork ribs in my hands. It was a half side of a pork ribs. And, or I don't know if it was pork ribs. It was just ribs, you guys, okay? So, I had these ribs in my hands, and I went out the back door of my house, and I was going to put it in the barbecue in the backyard, and I was going to barbecue back there and cook up some ribs. And as I walked out my back door, it was complete night. And so I have a wooden fence there along the side of my yard, and up against this wooden fence, there were stacks of bricks, like a mini brick wall. And it ran down the whole side of my fence. And it was like this in the picture, you guys. And the bricks were on fire. The bricks were on fire. And they were really hot, very hot. Like in the middle where the bricks met in the corners, it was glowing almost a white. And they weren't really snug to each other, so a shadow or a light could be casted onto the fence that it was butt up to. And on the fence, I seen 3 things written in white in the dark. One of them was this. Birthing pains on the 20th at pregnancy.com. Birthing pains on the 20th at pregnancy.com. Now, this was a bright white light that was coming off these bricks that were on fire. It was casting it onto the wooden fence. The next thing I read, because I was trying to focus as I'm holding these ribs in my hands, right? The next thing I read was judgment on the 23rd. So we got birthing pains on the 20th at pregnancy.com. And then I read judgment on the 23rd. And there was, the third thing was written on there, you guys. I can't remember it because I just can't remember it. In my dream, I started kind of panicking a little bit because I knew I was supposed to write this down. And the Lord told me to write it on the ribs because all of a sudden I had a knife in my hand. He told me to carve it on the ribs. And my hands were like greasy with this rib meat. And I was thinking, I got to run in and get a pen. And so I ran back in my house trying to find a pen. And I was thinking, even if I had a pen, there's no way I'd be able to hold it because my hands are greasy with the fat of the meat. And so I ran back out to see if I could still see it. Because I was thinking, I'll just carve it on the ribs. Even if we can't read it, I'll just carve it in there. And so I ran back out the backyard into the dark, and I looked again, and what had happened was the bricks had gotten so hot, they started to break down, you guys. And so the light that it was casting through onto the fence, the words were, kind of not as clear as before. So I wasn't able to get the other thing it said with a date. It actually had a date with it, too. And so I was thinking, oh, man, well, okay, Lord, please let me remember. Please let me remember. And I thought, well, I'm still going to barbecue. So I looked over at the corner of my house, and there was a shovel. And I said, I'm going to shovel some of these coals. They're hot and ready. And I'm going to put them in my little hibachi, and I'm going to cook these ribs. So I'm still going to cook the meat. And that was the end of my dream, you guys. And so the interpretation for that was, okay, my house it was a crazy law. It was just a crazy time in my life. There was fighting, there was arguing or whatever. That house, I loved my house, but it was a house of condemnation. And when I went onto my backyard and I seen those bricks, we're talking Matthew here, you guys. We are talking Matthew 24. And this is a warning. This is a warning of what is going to come upon America. The birthing pains are going to start, and judgment is going to start. The tribulation is about to start. And these bricks started breaking down like molten rocks, and eventually into coals. And so, and then like the meat that I was holding is the gospel, you guys, that the Lord wants me to give a warning out, to carve what I've read onto this meat and deliver it, feed it as a warning to what's going on, to what's about to happen. Accept Jesus Christ, or he's your only hope. Accept him. Cry out to him. Ask him to save you, and he will. The reason why all these judgments are going to be coming, I was told there's going to be 21 judgments. Okay, and I was told the reason why this is happening is because America is so wicked. They have not turned to God. They will not acknowledge God. They will not make him their God. They pray to unknown gods, to the unknown God. And the Lord is a jealous God, and he will not have that. And if you're not covered by the blood of Jesus, you are wicked. You're wicked. And so I wasn't eating my ex's meat because right now he thinks that he's a Hebrew, you guys. He thinks he's a Hebrew, and he blows the horn 3 times a day, and he doesn't eat pork, and he abstains from this and abstains from that. And when he's driving down the road, he says, those people are going to hell. I mean, he's so full of law. He thinks God hates everybody except for him. And that's not true. So I was not going to have anything of what he was cooking, because what he was cooking was false. It would make you sick. So I went to go cook my own meat, and because I was not going to have that meat. That's a fake meat. And so, yeah, I know I'm supposed to be bringing a warning. And so here's what's interesting, you guys. So, pregnancy.com, right? Birth pains on the 20th at pregnancy.com. Pregnancy.com, what is that? It's a website. Okay, a web. It's going to keep building and building and building like a web. Okay, all these birth pains. And check out what I found when I went to pregnancy.com. Look at this. This is the example it gave me as soon as I pulled it up. Look, it says your pregnancy, 38 weeks. Your baby has really plumped up. She weighs about 6.8 pounds and she is over 19.5 inches long, about the size of a leek. Can you even believe that? 38 weeks. Isn't that crazy? I was like, oh my goodness, Lord. Okay. The Lord wanted us to see that, okay? Now check this out. The Korean War. Look at the sign. You are now crossing the 38th parallel. Following World War II, the Korean Peninsula was divided along the 38th parallel with the creation of communist-backed North Korea and the anti-communist Republic of South Korea. On June 25th, 1950, North invaded South, leading to the outbreak of the Korean War. Craziness. The 38th parallel. This site is saying 38 weeks at pregnancy.com. And And that made me think of, and then as I was talking to Sherry about this, I was sharing my dream. I said, oh my goodness, the 38th parallel. And then I look up, my phone's at 83% and it is 8:31. And that is Psalms 83 war. Crazy, right? Yeah. The Lord has his ways. So you guys pray about this. Pray about it. And like so at the end of my dream, I was thinking, okay, well, the coals are just right. I'm just going to take that shovel, lean up against my house and just take those coals already hot and ready and stick them in the hibachi and cook these ribs. Okay, so to me, that's telling me that, okay, this calamity, this judgment's going to happen, and it is going to be hot. It is going to be ripe to tell people about Jesus. They are going to be crying out. They're going to be looking for an answer. They're going to be saying, God, why'd you do this? Like in that video that sister did some years ago about tourism in Hawaii, and the fish jumped up out of the water and ate the lady. And then the other person was like praying to God, God, why did you do this? Well, that lady represents America. And people are going to be saying, God, why is this happening? Why are you doing this? Or they're going to wake up. They're going to be waking up to the fact that, hey, this stuff is real. This stuff's about to happen. These judgments are coming down. What do? I have to accept Jesus Christ. I have to believe that there is a God, because I don't have any hope. My family's getting killed, or I have family that live in that area, or, the family calls you and says, what do? You say, accept Jesus Christ, or move out of that area or something. You got to tell them about the Lord. And I just felt so bad, you guys, because I feel sad. I don't want people to go through this, and it's going to get bad. The labor pains are going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And if this is the way God is using these judgments to wake people up and say, look, I'm real, believe upon me, I'm your creator, I'm your God, then so be it. That's the way he has to do it, because he is God and he knows exactly what he's doing, you guys. And I'm just so kind of worked up about this. Pregnancy.com, birthing pains on the 20th at pregnancy.com, and judgment on the 23rd. Now, you guys, I'm not putting a date for rapture. Okay, let's get that clear. I'm not setting a date for rapture. I am telling you exactly what I seen written on that fence, shining through those rock bricks that were on fire. Okay, and it's the Lord. I'm not saying, I just didn't fabricate something in my mind or something. I'm just sharing the message. And I'm not setting a date of a rapture. Okay, these are judgments. I don't know. You just have to pray. You have to ask God about it. And I just know what I was shown. And I just know that these birthing pains, like I wasn't even thinking about this stuff before I took my nap. I mean, pregnancy.com, I never even knew that existed. So, and then when I went to it, I seen you're 38 weeks. And I was like, oh, I am? Oh, okay. And then the 38th parallel with the North and South Korea and the Cold War and Psalms 83 war and this car that didn't have a seat in it. It represents America and the wedding. And you guys, it's coming. And then I heard in my dream, or I read in my dream, like on an advertisement or some kind of a bulletin, it said Korea versus America. It was either U.S. or America at 1:00. And I've heard America is on borrowed time. And I've heard in other dreams, the tribulation's about to begin. I've heard say goodbye to your family and pray. You can't make this stuff up, brothers and sisters. I've seen FEMA ships off the coast. through Canada, different places. I've heard Olympia, judgment is coming. Vancouver, judgment is coming. Hawaii is not stopping. This whole thing could be with Hawaii, you guys. It could be, I don't know, but it could be lava. The bricks could represent lava too. I don't know. But all I know is that we need to start giving warnings and telling people that these are the last days and the tribulation, is about to begin. Birthing pains on the 20th and judgment on the 23rd. So, all right. I love you guys, and we'll see. There's that train horn, you guys. Let me see. Let me read some Matthew 24. Okay. Okay, 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right. And keep your mind on Yellowstone. Be watching Yellowstone. Be watching Africa, Madagascar, the islands down there. I've had warnings about that. This stuff is happening. Accept Jesus Christ today. Cry out to him right now and say, Lord, save me. Lord, I want to be your child. Make me your child, Lord. I believe in you. I confess with my mouth and I believe in my heart that you were raised from the dead. I believe you, Lord, that you are the Son of God. I believe in you, Jesus. And please forgive me. Come into my heart, Lord, and save me. And then you just trust in God, and you talk to him. You have a relationship with him. And it says, those who believe will be saved. Okay? And that's what's wrong. That's what's going on in the world right now. Everybody's their own little God. You can believe in whatever you want. Master Yogi, whoever, you could do yoga and do 50,000 poses to the Yogi God. It's just crazy right now. And judgment is coming. All right. I love you guys, and have a good night, because the 38 parallel is coming. But if you're in Jesus Christ, you have hope. You are an adopted son or daughter of the Most High God, and you are seated in heavenly places. And God's righteousness has been imputed to you. And now you're saved. All right. I love you guys. Bye.